Hello, this is a video on the sweep style of roll for the kayak. We're going to talk about 3 different positions for the sweep roll. The first is the setup position. In the setup position, the kayaker tucks forward and reaches both blades of the paddle up to the surface. Yellow arrows indicate both blades are visible. A neutral or inline or straight wrist for the front hand gives the kayak roller a relatively flat front blade. Typically, the backhand clears the water easily, and from this point on in the roll, the back arm stays bent. The second phase of this roll is the sweep out. The blade stays relatively flat to the water, back arm stays bent, the boat starts rotating as the angle that the paddle shaft and the hull of the boat is somewhat open. The paddle needs to just not be parallel. And in the sweep roll, we don't wait until the paddle is 90 degrees to start rotating the boat. Again, once the paddle shaft and the boat make an open angle, we start to rotate the boat by driving the right knee up, such that the boat is at about 90 degrees, so if 180 degrees is flat, the boat is at 90 degrees by the time the paddle is at 90 degrees. Notice also, not only is the back arm still bent, but the back hand has not and does not cross the center line of the body, or really the center line of the boat as we progress. Which brings us to the finish position. A strong finish position is typified by the belly button, the torso, and our look or our gaze all being back towards our back blade as far as we can get it, or at least pointed towards the side that we just rolled up on. We're also looking for a bent back arm that is at or behind or the far side of the center line of the boat. In this image, the back arm is somewhat bent, but could be more bent, with the wrist much closer to the kayak roller's shoulder. Here we can see as the active blade clears the water, it has a nearly vertical angle, allowing it to slice freely from the little bit of time it spent under the water. If it stayed truly flat in that stage, it would create some resistance coming up out of the water. Finally, as the blade is clearing the water, the active blade is clearing the water, we transfer our weight back over our kayak cockpit. So the head is now over the sit bones. The kayak is pretty close to flat. We can even shift our weight over to the far side of the kayak. I think one of the most useful teaching tools, and I do this with a lot of my students and I train other instructors to do this, is to actually perform the roll in reverse. So going from this finish position, leaning over on someone, putting our shoulder on someone's hands, or having their hands in our life jacket strap. And as we come back over, going to the setup position. And that's because feeling a motion in reverse or performing a motion in reverse is really similar neurologically to performing it forwards. And so it's a way that we can be towards the end of our roll, say here, and if someone's holding our head out of the water, we can look at things like, well, where is the position of the back arm? So as you ask for support and coaching from friends or instructors, you can ask to do this in reverse before you do it forward. And so that might look like starting in the finish position with someone holding your life jacket strap, so that as you come over, you can keep your head out of the water, look at your blade position, and then just in review, the setup, both hands out of the water, front wrist neutral, front blade flat, tucked forward, Paddle sweeps out to the side before the boat rotation begins, creating an open angle. The paddle shaft and the boat each create a line. That angle needs to be open, not parallel. Boat rotation begins once that angle is open. By the time the paddle shaft is at 90 to the boat is also about halfway through or up at 90 degrees. The backhand stays near the left shoulder by keeping the back arm bent. The roll finishes with the belly button, the torso, and the head or gaze all facing the back blade. And then the weight is transferred back over the kayak as the back active blade slices out of the water.